beautiful day in Lake Tahoe. It is Saturday, June 3rd, and Gandhi and I are going to go and check out Western Days, which is put on by the Lake Tahoe Heritage Society.
The Lake Tahoe Historical Society puts on Western Days, an old-time themed event centering around the era of the California Gold Rush, with vendors, bands, special exhibits, and of course, a good old Wild West shootout. The festivities take place in South Lake Tahoe at the Lake Tahoe History Museum.
So they're going to have the festival, and then there's also going to be a presentation about the television show Bonanza. Bonanza, in its later years, they did some on-location filming here in Lake Tahoe, specifically Incline Village. The whole location for the TV show Bonanza was Lake Tahoe, the Carson Valley, and the mountains of the Sierra Nevada, the Carson Valley, and Virginia City. So I'm really excited to go to this presentation about that television show, because I kind of watched that. Well, I didn't watch it when it originally aired. I'm not that old. But I did watch it in reruns with my family. My dad really liked watching it. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today. We're on our way over to the area where the Western Days is happening. Oh, I see some horses. Yay! That's cool.
One of the great things about this event, which happens to be only the second annual Western Days so far, is that it's free, and so were these horse-drawn wagon rides that were being offered to attendees.
He walked out. Don't take the guns to town.
Most of the vendors were selling Native American and Western wear apparel and accessories. The booth that I was most excited to visit was David and Gayle Woodruff's. They are a wonderful couple who research known and not so well-known historical tales of the Sierra Nevada.
I feel like I know you guys already. I've seen your YouTube channel, and I love the history that you present about 395.
I'm David.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Gayle.
Gayle, nice to meet you.
For all that.
They have a 3-book series about the Sierra Nevada called Tales Along El Camino Sierra. Their newest book, Tales Along Lake Tahoe Shores, I picked up here at Western Days. It's a great read, and I highly recommend it. I will leave a link to the book below in the description. It was David and Gayle who gave the entertaining presentation on the TV show Bonanza, which was set in the Tahoe area and a few times filmed on location.
Bonanza, yeah, kind of corny. I usually pass right through it when I'm surfing the channels, but it was a huge part of American culture. Have a weekly series that would be based around a gentleman who had 3 sons. The gentleman would be single, and they would, of course, right into America's home. There was a lot of action going on in Virginia City, which used to make me amused, because even as a kid I was pretty good at geography, and the boys and Paul would get on the horses, yeah, we're going to Virginia City, and 10 minutes later they'd show up. I think it took a little longer than that to ride horseback down to Virginia City back in 1869, but the Cartwrights must have known a shortcut or some kind.
Can he come in?
Yep.
Come on, Gayle. I've been in the museum before, but I haven't been in with him before.
That's okay.
I love your museum.
He's protected.
In addition to the festivities, the museum is also open to guests to freely stroll through to learn about Lake Tahoe's rich history. As you stroll clockwise through the museum, the history of Lake Tahoe is presented to you in chronological order, beginning with the history of the Washoe people, the native people of Lake Tahoe, and their intricate basket artistry, moving through time to the first explorers, John Fremont and Kit Carson. Legendary Snowshoe Thompson, the skiing mailman of the Sierra, has his place here as well. Of course, no Lake Tahoe museum is complete without late 1800s historical artifacts from the gold rush, the Comstock lode, the logging of Lake Tahoe forests for the Comstock lode, and the Pony Express. Moving through the museum and closer to the early and mid-1900s era, artifacts from the beginning of Lake Tahoe's tourism industry are on display as well. And one of my favorite segments of Big Blue's history, Big Blue being Lake Tahoe, is its skiing history. The museum has many items from Tahoe's skiing past. These old ice skates are absolutely amazing to me because I actually love to ice skate. And I cannot even imagine strapping on a pair of skating blades to a pair of walking shoes. There are 2 log cabin structures on the museum grounds where Western Days takes place. One being the oldest structure in Lake Tahoe, the Osgood Toll House, which I've done a video about. I have a link in the description below to that video. The other log cabin was built in 1933 for a retired school teacher, but she thought it was too rustic, so she passed on it. Up until the late 60s, it was used as a family's summer home. It was acquired by the city of South Lake Tahoe, and in 1970, it was actually used as a museum until the museum's artifacts outgrew the cabin. And we have the current museum now.
All right, sit right there. Yeah. All right. What do we got, boys, huh? Well, I don't know. We gotta open it up.
One of the highlights of Western Days is the street theater of outlaw cowboys from a bygone era and their hijinks to steal some loot, complete with dynamite and a shootout finale.
Ed, you got an idea? Uh-oh. You and your ideas. I don't know. Whoa! No, that'll blow the box to smithereens. We need a better idea than that, Hank. What do you got? Oh, that's better. Oh, dynamite, yeah. That might work. Okay, let's try that. Okay, yeah, set it right there by the box. Just the key. He's gonna open it. That's a good idea. All right, there we go. Ready? All right, ready. We're back again.
Another cool feature next door to the South Lake Tahoe Museum is the City of Lake Tahoe's campground, or what is called Campground by the Lake. The campground and the museum are both extremely close to Lakeview Commons and El Dorado Beach. Lakeview Commons is a place that the city of South Lake Tahoe will often have events with live music at. This area here with all the picnic tables and just above the stairs down to El Dorado Beach is Lakeview Commons. Having had my fill of Western Days, I wandered to enjoy the views of beautiful Lake Tahoe and then seek out some brews. Lakeview Social is a relatively new establishment. This is my first time visiting, and I know it won't be my last.
Hi there.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
What IPAs do you have?
Right now, we actually only have Elysian and the Lagunitas IPA.
Okay, I'll have an Elysian.
Cool. Have you had it before?
I have.
Cool.
People call, say, beware dog, you're bound to fall. You thought that they were. Oh, you next name.
This is a great spot to enjoy a warm spring or summer day, take in some live music, sip on an IPA, and gaze out over the serene blue of Lake Tahoe. Best of all, it's dog friendly.
Like a rolling stone. Or maybe you were shot down in pieces. Maybe I slipped in between. You were gonna be the wildest people they ever hoped to see. Be so amused with Napoleon in rags and the language that he drift violently away. Dreams dance in and out of the beams of a neon.
Thanks so much for joining me on this trip to Western Days at the Lake Tahoe History Museum. If you liked the video, please hit that like button. And if you're not already subscribed, please do so. Every subscription really means a lot to me. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next adventure.